Until recently, internet success was in large part measured by site owners in terms of visitor traffic. While traffic is a vital part of any successful web strategy, it certainly isn't the end-all be-all. For example, what department store or restaurant would consider itself successful if large numbers of people passed through its doors but never actually purchased anything? Similarly, your web presence must not only receive traffic, it must also get results. We can engage in targeted traffic-generating methods like search engine marketing, paid placement, and permission-based email marketing, and other internet marketing methods. But if you can't close the deal, then all is lost. That's where the deal maker, conversion architecture, comes in and brings it all together.
Conversion architecture is the art and science, how to convert the traffic we've generated into a buying client. And the buying client doesn't have to be somebody who puts the product into the shopping cart. A buying client can be somebody requesting your service, requesting more information, getting in touch with you.
Conversion architecture really is a very simple way of looking at what makes people do what you want them to do. So when they come to a page, what do we want them to see, what do we want them to do, and take them through the steps to do it in a very short period of time.
Really, the one thing above all that anyone who's investing in any kind of web presence should be thinking about from day one and constantly through any work that they do on the web is really the ability to convert that inquiry, that customer, that visitor into a customer of theirs. So if it's email marketing, you ultimately drive him back to your site. If it's paid positioning within the search engine, you're getting him to click through to your site. If it's ongoing organic optimization, you're getting him to come to the site. Now he's physically on your site. You're halfway there. But until that guy or that person makes a call, signs up for a newsletter, buys a product, picks up the phone, or tells somebody else that he's found a site that's very valuable and it relates to something they were discussing, you really haven't had any kind of return on that investment.
I would guess over 90% of all the websites out there are not ready for the internet marketing. Our job as consultants is to identify those flows and prepare the web presence or create the web presence which will generate business for our clients. So this is our major task, in fact. We are not in the business of just building websites. We are in the business of building converting marketing tools. Every dollar has to come back many times over.
Conversion architecture is really made up primarily of unique pages in a website that attract the customer's attention and move them to a call to action very quickly. It's comprised of a good engaging headline. It's comprised of scannable copy, short paragraphs, bullet point features and benefits, and then an engaging call to action. That's what turns a visitor to a prospect, a shopper to a buyer.
Certainly when you're looking to make sure a site is highly usable and will convert visitors into customers, you really have to look at the overall structure of the site. How would a person who comes onto the site navigate around there? What would they be looking at when they come to the site? In many cases, when someone lands on a site for the first time, they're largely looking where to go. And it needs to be very, very clear to them what that site does, how you would navigate around that site, what are the main messages and services that can be found on there, and how do you find out more information?
It's kind of like having a traffic cop and you're standing in the middle of a sidewalk and you're saying, either get to the left or get to the right, but get somewhere. And so what happens, why a lot of websites fail, is the business owner who constructed the information on the pages, they thought this worked in brochures before, this is what they hand out to clients, but there's no real calls to action. And so what we do is we actually go in, look at a page from top to bottom, look at it from an outsider's perspective walking in, and ask ourselves, what is this page trying to get us to do? Is it trying to direct us to a sale? Is the purpose to direct us to an email marketing campaign? Do they just want a phone call? But we have to tell the visitor what to do. Without the directions to tell them what to do, they're not going anywhere. They're just going to click and leave.
So you need to be able to lead them through the site, just the same as some of the big stores these days almost guide us around the aisles and are very much in control about how we come from the entrance to the shop to the checkout. We apply those same very good solid business principles to a website, and we need to ensure that now they've come to our place of business, we need to help and work with them and make it easy for them. You know, the customer mustn't have to think too hard once he's arrived on the site. It must be clear, simple, obvious.
Now that the picture is complete in regards to internet marketing's ability to attract, deliver, and convert business from the web, it's time to introduce you to an unseen participant in the process that plays a crucial role. Without it, we would all be blind and strategies would be reduced to nothing more than random guesswork. The process that fuels and provides efficacy to internet marketing is analytics.
Well, if you look at marketing, that the transition of where traditional marketing methods, whether it be newspaper, brochures, ads, TV, radio, and billboards and things like that, there was a lot of assumptions made that so many people saw your site, so many people saw this, and so many people did this, and that was based on readership or drive-bys and things like that. The fact now remains is that everything is tied to exact numbers. We can say that 4,383 people saw your site today, and 1,700 and so on did this, and this, and we could track it right down to the exact measurement, how long they saw it, what they did, how they did it. In the history of marketing, this has never been able to happen before. So for the first time, people now are getting this information. Now, the interesting part with that information is you have to be able to analyze it. And that's where another skill set takes into place, is being able to analyze analytics and guide a company into the right direction and marketing themselves in better, further, and creating a better return on investment.
The analytics that is now available to us as consultants is so strong. Google purchased Urchin, which was one of the biggest and best web analytic companies in the world. And they incorporated analytics into their search engine, AdWords advertising. We also have relationships with some of the top web analytic companies in the world.
The beauty about the internet is you can measure everything. It's fabulous. And in business, data drives success. Anytime you're having a struggle making a decision, it's because you don't have enough data, clearly. And that's where analytics comes in, because we can put analytics on your site that can measure everything that site visitor does on your website. And therefore, there's seldom a question about whether we should do this or that in terms of improving your website, because the data will tell us. And so someone who understands, who can put analytics on your website, can understand how to read them and interpret them for you, is so valuable, it's amazing. So you're not spending money doing things that won't make a difference, but rather spending your money doing things that the statistics would say will make a difference.
Well, analytics is basically the process of tracking what goes on your website, the behavioral patterns of the people visiting. What keywords brought them there? Well, why is that significant? Well, so that you can invest in those keywords, whether it's in organic, making sure your web pages are keyword rich with those words, or if it's pay per click and investing in those words. That's the beginning right there.
If people are coming to the checkout page on an e-commerce website and they spend 10 minutes there, but they do not finish the process and leave, we know that. We know how many people came to that page, got to the checkout page, but did not buy. Maybe it's the shipping cost, maybe they got cold feet, maybe there's something that goes on. Some of our policies are too strong, too harsh, there's too many fields in the form to fill out. There's something that's causing people to jump off, so we make adjustments.
We bring traffic from various sources. We bring traffic from Google and Yahoo and MSN. We know which source of traffic is converting and which not. That's what analytics does for you. We know if the email marketing crowd, are they coming to the site or are they not? And once they're on the site, are they staying on the site or are they leaving? So we measure things like time on site. We measure things like, how many pages per visit on the average. We measure things like bounce rate, which is really key.
There's so many different levels of which we can analyze things in order to get the conversions, in order to know what to invest in terms of driving the traffic. And without that, you're flying blind. You don't have a plan. You're building a house without a blueprint.